I'm gonna get this set up real quick. I think that's far enough. Alrighty. Okay, so things have been just really busy for me lately, and my everyday makeup basket is a mess and is in desperate need of just a refresh. So I figured I could come on, try vertical live for the first time, and just clean this out. As you can see, well, actually, I don't know if you can see it. I've literally just started piling like eyeshadow palettes to the side of my everyday makeup basket just because I ran out of room in the actual drawers. And this thing is huge, so I should not be running out of room. It's just very clearly in need of a clean out and a refresh. So I'm gonna scoot you guys a little bit over this way. I'm gonna start from the top, go through. I want to empty everything out, talk about what I've been using for the past couple of weeks, and then shop my stash to refill this up so I'm ready to go for work tomorrow. So starting up here, I got this Saie foundation. It's in the shade 1. I picked this up with the Sephora kind of foundation kit. It's like a sampler kit where they give you a coupon for like $10 off the foundation. I forgot to use the coupon, so I'm going to save it for the foundation, or no, for the concealers that I have. These are the concealers from that set that I still haven't tried yet. So I want to save that coupon, do this. I did film this for shorts. I just haven't gotten around to editing it yet. So I'm going to see those to the side, and I haven't actually tried the Saie on my full face yet. So I do want to put that to the side and put it in my actual drawers. Next, this was a newer purchase. I picked up the Rare Beauty Contour, and this is in probably the lightest shade. It's in the shade Gentle. It's actually a really, really pretty tone for contour. The only thing is that I probably should have gotten, yeah, it's a nice pretty tone. I should have gotten a small. Like, there's no way I'm going to use up this entire thing, but I do like it so far. The other thing up here is this Armani concealer. I thought I was close to being done with it. I took out the stopper, but it's like up to here. There's still a bunch of concealer in there. So since it's technically almost done, I just put it on top so I remember to use it every day to finish it up. So I am going to leave it up there once I clean everything out. Same with this Tatcha, not concealer, primer. The Tatcha Silk Canvas primer. I pulled the stopper out and I was actually using this spatula to get all the primer out. So this is almost empty. I just want to finish it up. So I'm going to leave it up on the top until it's done. All right. I don't know why I have this palette up here. I think I know why. This was my Pen That palette from last year that I failed at. And I feel like it's time to go ahead and like just put her away. So I'm going to go ahead and put her away. Let's see. I don't know why I have my Rouge card up here. I think I had it next to my name tag, my old Sephora name tag, so we'll leave it there. I broke this and I need to fix it. So as you can see, this top part just becomes kind of like a catch-all for like just a bunch of random stuff. And so that's why it needs to be cleaned out desperately. Hello people in the live. My first time doing vertical live. All right. So these are samples that I did not get as part of that kit, but samples I do want to try out. This is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick. I could probably only use that light medium shade, but I wanted to try that out. I've got this Givenchy foundation samples, and they're actually like a good enough like product in here to use one full face of, so I want to try that. And then I've got this House Labs concealer. I tried the foundation. I got the foundation in PR, and I hated the foundation. It looked horrific on my skin. So I wanted to just give the concealer a try. This is a pretty good big like size bubble sample. So I'm gonna give it a try. I don't know how I'm gonna like it because the foundation was just terrible on my skin. So again, these are gonna stay up there, but I feel like I can find a better way of organizing it without everything kind of becoming a mess. Let's go through the palettes I have just kind of randomly put onto the side. I've got the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam foundation, or not foundation, palette. I accidentally dropped this. Can you see like the powder imprints on the top? I dropped it and I thought it broke and I was so sad, but it did not break. But I feel like I've used this a good amount. I'm going to put this back into my collection. This palette has a collection of just single shadows that I have. It's a really big mixture. Some of it's Too Faced, some of it's ColourPop. Some of them are Divina, I think. That's a ColourPop one. So I've got just like a bunch of random ones together, and they're all just kind of like orangey, pinky colors. And I do want to reach for single shadows more often, so I feel like I am going to actually put this into the drawer once we clean everything out. Next, a couple ColourPop palettes I picked up on a whim. This is the Cloud 9 palette. It's really pretty, like cool toned palette. I love the shade up here on top. You know what? We're here. Might as well swatch it. I don't know how good it's going to show up in this lighting, but it's just a nice ethereal kind of color. It's so pretty. And then this bright sparkly color, I can't even read the shade name, but I'm not even going to try. But this one is really pretty as well. It's like a bright kind of silver. Yeah, it's pretty. Let's see. This one I feel like I've used. I'm going to go ahead and put it back into the collection. Next, we have the 1111 palette. This is very warm toned. I kind of wasn't expecting it to be as warm toned after looking at the pictures, but it's still pretty. And then next, we have two Natasha Denona palettes. The first one is the I Need a Nude palette. This one is very, very pretty. I already reorganized this one, I believe, so this isn't what it's going to look like right when you purchase it off of the shelf. But I love reorganizing my Natasha palettes because they've got the holes in the back, so they're really easy just to poke out the shades and reorganize them. And this one's pretty, but I'm kind of sick of it, so I need to put it back into my collection. And last but not least, I was on the fence about this one because I've actually been wanting to use these shades a lot more. This is the Natasha Denona Green Brown palette, and it actually has a couple pans in here. This was probably one of, if not my most expensive palette ever. And I feel like I needed to get some use out of it, so I did. I hit pan in these green shades a long time ago when I did a Harry Potter project pan. But lately I've been reaching for the shades up here. They're really pretty. I don't know, I'm on the fence about whether or not I want to leave this in the actual basket for this month, so I'm gonna put this to the side, and we will decide when we come back to put everything into the basket. All right. Going into the actual drawers, I feel like I'm going to pull this drawer out, yeah, and put it on the bottom. That way we can actually kind of try to see everything that we're doing here. Maybe I can tilt you guys down. There we go. Okay. I've got a bunch of color correctors, and I don't need all of these color correctors in here. So let's go one by one. These are my newest ones. These are the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind erasers, and I got the yellow shade and the pink shade. I actually have not tried these out yet. They are brand new, and I feel like these are the ones I'm going to keep in here because I have this. This is the Huda Beauty faux filter color corrector in the shade Cherry Blossom, and I love this. This is actually like such a good color corrector. It's a perfect shade for my dark circles on my pale complexion, but then also it's the perfect thickness, like of a consistency, and then it dries down enough that it doesn't leave crinkles or anything or any other residue on my under eye. It works so good. So I need to stop myself from using this so I can test out other products. So this is going to go back into the collection. Along with these, I got like the mini set from Tarte where it had like a Tarte concealer, a highlighter, and then a color corrector. The highlighter is like too yellow for me to actually really use, so that one I might go ahead and declutter. The concealer is a good shade, the color corrector is a good shade, but I forgot I already had this color corrector, so I didn't really need to buy this kit. I wanted to buy the kit to try out the highlighter and the concealer, but you live and you learn. So those are going to go back into my collection along with, see, I told you I had a lot of color correctors in here. This is the Ulta color corrector in yellow. And this one, I like this one. I also had this in pink. The pink one, I swear they're different formulas. The pink one, I liked the color and the tone of it, but it sat horribly on my under eyes. It sunk into my fine lines, and no matter what concealer I put on top of it, it looked terrible. Now this one, I wish it was slightly more pigmented. Like, it's a good formula and it sits well, and it does cancel out some of my dark circles, but not all of them. So I really wish Ulta had made this a little bit more pigmented just so that would work a little bit better, but it's still a good color corrector. I just don't reach for it as often. And last but not least, at least for the color correctors, this is the Becca and Smashbox, which I have a pet peeve about this packaging. Do you see how scratched off this packaging is? It used to all be this pinky color, but they cheaped out on the packaging. Like, it just all wore off. Anyway, I do love the product though. That's the downside. I really love this product. It is creamy. It's the perfect tone. I like the packaging, like the actual like glass bottom part of it, not the lid. The lid is really, really cheapy, but this is one of my favorite color correctors of all time. So I really like it. Hate the packaging. 0 out of 10 on the packaging. Okay, so that's all the color correctors. I'm gonna go ahead and put these Maybelline ones in the drawer there for now. And let's dive into these foundations. Let's start out with the Tier. I can't believe how much I liked this. I bought this like way after the hype happened. I have the shade 13 because I am a ghost. But I actually really like this. It's like full coverage. It goes on so nicely. It's so quick to put on too. I've been wanting to try more cushion foundations, especially since work has been like crazy busy for me lately. And really my makeup in the morning has been more of a like quick, you know, one and done eyeshadow, throw on the foundation, the concealer, and let's go. And this one was so good. It's actually almost dried out on me, so I might need to pick up another one soon. But I really, really like this. And yes, I did flip the cushion. If you did not know, if you use a cushion foundation and it starts to dry out on you, get some tweezers, or even you can use your hand and just flip the cushion and you've got more product in there. And then ultimately you can take it out, squeeze the cushion out. I like getting absolutely everything. As you can see, I like getting my money's worth out of my products. So make sure you do that if you have this and you have not already. But I've been using it a lot. I want to pull it out of my collection, or pull it out of my drawer and back into my collection. Same with this one. So this is the silver cushion. I picked this up because I wanted to try the glowier version. So the silver one is supposed to be glowy. The pink one is supposed to be matte. And then the red one is supposed to be like the highest coverage. I thought I would like the silvery one, the glowy one, but this one, it is very particular about primer. So depending on what primer I put on, this looks terrible on my skin. I don't know what it is, just the way that it interacts with those primers. And then it doesn't have the coverage that I'm looking for. So this one, I'm not a huge fan of, but I really want to try the pink foundation. So I'm not going to get rid of this. I want to have them all like for comparison purposes, but it's not my favorite. I should have gotten a basket to put everything in before I started this, but that would have required planning, and I did not plan this. I was like, you know what, just throw it on and go. Ooh, this one separated a little bit. Let's give that a little bit of a shaky shake. Right, this is the AOA Studio Luminous Veil Foundation. I like this foundation, but it's a super duper like light coverage, like barely evens the complexion. Like if you're looking for just like a very, very lightweight, like super duper thin, that doesn't really stay through a full day, which I'm not really selling it that well, but it looks really pretty. Like this is what I would throw on if I really just wanted an extra kind of like glow before running out and doing errands, but I didn't really want to wear a full face of makeup. So it's pretty, but the times in which I would actually reach for this are very small. I skipped over this one. So this is the Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream in the shade 13. I love this. This is one of the best BB creams I have ever used. I've already gone through 2 full bottles of this. This is my 3rd. I just can't get enough of this. It's full coverage. It does smell like grandma's. So I will say it's got a very distinct and strong scent. The good news is the scent goes away once you put on your full face and you powder and you put your other products on. But if you're sensitive to scent, you will not like this at all. If you are sensitive to scent, instead what I would say is get this Purito Cica Clearing BB Cream. I have shade 13, Neutral Ivory. Don't go by the shades on the bottle. Like this is not the shade, the actual shade itself. Let me pull this out. Is that? It's very different. Like the shade on the bottle is straight up orange. And the actual shade is pretty close to my skin tone. And then like for reference, my skin tone, I'm a MAC N4. So pretty pale. But this shade does work for me, and it doesn't have a scent. It's also good full or medium to full coverage if you build it up. And I also really like this. I've been reaching a lot lately for those kind of BBCC creams. And what I've also been reaching for are stick foundation. So this is the Hourglass stick foundation. This one, it's kind of meh. Some days this looks great on me. Some days it looks not great on me. I also feel like this is one that's really finicky about what primer you use underneath it. Like I tried using the Tatcha primer underneath this one and it looked horrific. And then I used a pore filling primer underneath this and that worked pretty well. So it really is finicky. Also with skincare, I picked the stick foundations up because I wanted something easy and quick that I could travel with, especially for like work trips. But this was not it. This is too finicky to be that kind of foundation. So that's why I threw it in the basket to try and get a lot of use out of it. But I ended up barely reaching for it still. Also doesn't help that I just kept throwing more and more foundations in here. Next, so this is technically a highlight and contour stick, but for Makeup Revolution, apologies. But the lighter highlight side is basically my foundation shade, and I used to love the stick foundation from Makeup Revolution, and they discontinued it. So the closest thing I can get to it now is the highlighter part of this stick, and it does work well. I do like it. I wish they still had that stick foundation that I loved, because that was like my #1 stick foundation of all time, and it's just no longer available. So I'll take what I can get. And last but not least, I think I only tried this once. This is the new e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I don't even think I used both of them. Yes, I have two shades. I have Fair Neutral and Fair Cool. And I don't even know which one like matches me better. So I feel like these I should leave in the basket. So I'm going to leave those. We have the Saie foundation that we talked about earlier. The color correctors that we mentioned. And I think that's going to be it because the Armani concealer is going to stay up at the top. And then we'll shop for some concealers and foundations. So, ooh, 1 drawer down, 3 to go. And I need to reorganize all this stuff that I've just kind of been throwing everywhere. I see hearts in the chat. Hello, everyone. Thanks for jumping on. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Let's put this back up here and do a little bit of reorganizing. This is going to go in. Throwing some stuff over there. Okay. So let's see. Should I do the blushes? That's a big mess. Okay, let's do this one first. This one has like my mascara, eyeliners, some eyeshadow primers. That'll be easier to get into than the next drawer, which as you can see is a hot mess. All right. Let's start with eyeshadow primer. So I have quite a few eyeshadow primers in here, and I should narrow it down to just one. So I have the MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly, and I've not been reaching for this. I need to just go ahead and put it back into my collection. I was afraid it dried out, but I was able to add just a little bit of an oil to it, and it works just fine. I swear, these things can last forever. Next, I've got the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. This is just the original one, and it's one of my favorites of all time. I love it. I love how long it lasts, and I love the squeezy tube. My favorite makeup packaging are squeezy tubes, because you can cut it out and like literally scrape every last drop of makeup product out, and it's amazing. But I have another eyeshadow primer in here that I want to use, so I'm going to put this back into my collection, and instead I'm going to stick to this ColourPop Party Proof Eye Primer. I actually unboxed this in the main video I posted earlier today. I bought the ColourPop Christmas Mystery Box, and this is one of the products. And I have not been using it a whole lot because I had those other eyeshadow primers in my drawer. So I want to go ahead and use this. So I'm going to leave this one in here. And then let's move on to mascara. I had these 2 minis that I've been using for a couple months now, and I'm ready to kind of make them empties. I had the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I've tried this so many times over the years, and I hate it. It's not a good formula for me. It always flakes, it always transfers, it always like irritates my eyes, and it's not for me. It's not for me. Now, the Fenty one, I tried the full-size Fenty mascara a while ago and hated it. But I tried this mini, and I actually really liked this mini. It didn't really transfer too much. I liked the wand itself. I liked the formula. So, I don't know. If I were to pick up the Fenty one again, I'd probably stick to the minis. And I'm not doing the research to see if they have the same formula in the mini as in the big size, because I know sometimes they don't. But in my experience, this one, the mini, was much better than the full size. I think that's it for mascara. So this is the brand new one I just picked up in my Sephora order I got yesterday. This is the Sephora Collection Size Up Volume Mascara, and this thing is huge. I've not used this one yet. Ooh, it looks a little clumpy, but it's brown. I wanted to get a brown mascara. So that's what the wand, let me see if I can put it over here. There you go, that's what the wand looks like. I'm excited to try this out. So when we shop our stash, I might grab a black mascara just so I have a brown and a black. But for now, we're good with that one. As far as brow gel goes, I feel like this is still good. Yeah, so this is the Got To Be brow gel. It's just the Got To Be hair gel with a spoolie. It's great. It works amazing. Tomorrow, I have to laminate and dye my brows. So usually right after, I don't have to use a brow product. So I'm gonna just put these away in my collection. I have the ABH brow, whatever this is called. And it's in the shade black. I love this color. I hate the spoolie on this thing. Like it's so annoying. It's only one-sided and it glops up product, and I don't like the spoolie, but I love the formula and I love the color on this. So I wish they made a better spoolie. I might just like replace the cap if I could find one that fits with a better spoolie. Or I might just use a disposable. You know what? I mean, for science. Let's try. Nope, that doesn't fit. So if anyone happens to know a different spoolie lid that would fit on this ABH container, please let me know. Help a girl out. But I do like this. Just hate the spoolie. And another one, I like the shade of this one. Again, the Maybelline Studio Tattoo. And this is in the shade black. Again, the spoolie is just not amazing. It's a little too big, and I've noticed that this product can get a little gloopy, so it'll kind of go everywhere. But if you do your brows first for your makeup and then you clean it up with a Q-tip, this is such a pretty color. And for me, I like deep blue black brows, so this is not going to be a like natural brow. They're going to be their brows, but that's what I'm looking for. That's what I like. Hi, Aisha. I believe that's how you pronounce your name. If not, I'm so sorry. I am doing great today. I just ran out of time to film before I have to take a bubble bath. Well, I have to take a bubble bath. I want to take a bubble bath, and then I want to make dinner. So we're doing this as a live for today. Eyeliners. Let's talk eyeliner. So I got some liquid eyeliners here. The rest are pencils. So this is from AOA Studio. This is the A2O brand. They have a bunch of their own house brands from Shop Miss A. This is the stamp. I love like the little heart stamp on it. Bunk. It makes the cutest little heart. Is that not adorable? And then the other side is just a liner. It's cute. I like it. And then this one is Undone Beauty. It's like the thinnest, most fine eyeliner. That's pretty, especially on days where you don't want it to really look like you're wearing liner. You just want an extra bit of like oomph with your mascara or something. This is great. So let's see. I think I'm gonna leave this one in just so I have a black liner. I'll take this one out and put it back into my collection. And then the pencil liners. So what I've really been reaching for lately have been the Tarte Fake Awakes. I have both of them. I have white, and then I have the like more like light peachy kind of color. This has been like my everyday go-to. It makes me look less tired. And I just really like it. And the white is a bit more stark, but also looks really pretty. But I feel like I've been using these too much. I need to go ahead and try something else. So I'll put those away. And I'm gonna pull all of these out. Let's see. These are from AOA Studio. They're pencil eyeliners, but they're too sharp and like pointy for me to use in my waterline, which is typically where I wear eyeliner. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these away. This is a liquid liner from NYX. This is the Epic Ink Liner. And I got this because I thought it would be cute to try and use on like my lower lash line. You can barely see it because it's almost like my skin tone. but it doesn't tend to work that great on my lower lash line or in my inner corner. So I'll see if I can find out another way to use that one. And then last but not least, we have the KVD. I really wanted an orange eyeliner for my waterline, specifically for like those pumpkin kind of spicy looks. And this one's really, really pretty, but I'm not doing pumpkin spice looks right now. I'm just not. So let me go ahead and put all of those away. And then, I don't know if you guys can see, you can barely see them. Over here, I have a bunch of Super Shock shadows. There we go. These are all brand new to me. I just picked them up, so they're all going to stay in here, along with this Urban Decay Moondust shadow in Naked Cowboy, Space Cowboy. Ooh. I just picked this up. I know, it's a cult favorite, and I've never owned it before. It doesn't really look like much on a swatch, but I heard it's supposed to be amazing on the eye. And I was looking for a lot of like one and done kind of eyeshadows. So that's why I picked this one up. And then I've got Super Shock shadows. I've got Frog, which this one broke while it was in transit. So I don't really want to hold it up too much. But that one is very, very pretty. I also have Ritz. This one's gorgeous. Here, I can swatch this one because this one's not broken. Yeah, it's not showing up too much in this lighting. Oh, there you go. Look at that sparkle. That is pretty. All right, this one I've used a few times. This is In the Saddle. And I think this is the one I got in my ColourPop mystery box. And it's very, very pretty. So you can see it's like right here. See if I can catch the light. There we go. Right there. And then, last but not least, what do we have? We have Sunrise Hike. Let's try this one on a different part of my hand. I'm running out of space. Yeah, so that one's a more like light kind of goldy shade. Really, really pretty. So I'm going to keep all of those because I just picked up most of them. And I really want to reach for single shadows more often. So now that palette that I mentioned earlier with these single shadows, I'm going to go ahead and put in this drawer. So it's next to the rest of the single shadows. And then I think we're good. Okay. Moving onwards and upwards. If I can get this. There we go. We did it. Let me wash off these swatches. All right, washing off the swatches. And then we'll move on to the messy drawer. Honestly, this is the one I was the least looking forward to, just because there's too many things in here. I just kept adding and adding and adding. So here we go. I went a little crazy in the blush, okay? I've got way too many blushes in here. Can you guys see? Look at all of that. Okay. My defense, I love blush, okay? Okay. The Drunk Elephant De-Bronzy Drops. I actually, love these. I squirt some on the back of my hand, rub it in, and I use a brush to apply on my face. And when I do that, it is one of the most natural looking bronzers I have ever used. And it's gorgeous. So, yeah, the hype is real. I actually really like this. But I've been using it too much. I need to swap it out for something else. So, swapping that out. I have rarely been reaching for powders lately. It's really been all about the liquids and the creams. So, this Makeup Forever palette I picked up specifically because I really wanted the orange blush right here. It's really pretty. And then these ones over here. But I barely reached for this, again, because it was a palette. I had to do a little bit more effort for this one as opposed to just like these kind of ones where I could just grab them and go. So I'm debating leaving this in here because I barely use the ones up top. Yeah, okay. I'm going to leave this in here and kind of pull out the rest of these because these I've been reaching for like nonstop. This Physicians Formula Butter Contour. I have these products elsewhere, but I saw this palette and I thought it was really cute. It works great. I like it. Again, I just have not really been reaching for powders all too often. Next, I have this Charlotte Tilbury Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. I've got Pan on this side, This side, I used to have pan and then I repressed it. They're just okay. I feel like this was definitely not worth the money. It's just okay. Next, I have these LA Girl Pro Contour Powders, and I barely, like this one, I don't even think I opened. Yeah, I didn't even use these. They've been in here forever, but I haven't been reaching for powders. Like this one actually broke in shipping. I still have to fix it. So I feel like I'll put these away. I'll shop them a few months from now, and then I'll actually use them then. Shame on me. The last powder in here is this Dior highlighting palette. I've really mainly been using this for inner corner highlight, and it is really, really pretty. But also the colors just being so kind of like out there. I will say I hate the kind of overspray, like the logo. You have to like basically use your finger or like a spoolie and scratch that off before you get to the actual highlighter. But if you don't do that, like the first highlighter palette I got from Dior, I hated, but that's because I didn't rub off that like embossing first. After you do that, they're actually good highlighters. Right. I've got a Diet Coke. Diet Coke break. All right, this is hot mess. I'm gonna try and separate all the blushes together. Blush, 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 blush. Look at all these blushes. Blush, 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 blush. All right, these are two random outliers. They're lipsticks. I really don't wear lipstick all that often. But I got these in the ColourPop mystery box, and they're like super duper pretty. This is the creme lipstick in the shade Gamer Girl, and it's actually like a really pretty like peachy nude on me. And then I picked up the ColourPop blotted lip. And these blotted lips, I feel like I need to get more of the blotted lip. It's really, really pretty, but I would love one of those in like a lighter peachy shade. So I gotta see if they have other shades of that one. But I rarely reach for lipsticks, so I'm probably just gonna go ahead and put those away in my lipstick drawer. Speaking of ColourPop, I got this highlighter stick that's really more of a blush topper on me, but I don't really wear blush toppers. I don't. So I'm on the fence on whether I should just put this back in my collection or if I should declutter it and try to give it to somebody who would actually use it more. On the fence. All right. I've got a problem with e.l.f. blushes, and the problem is I love them. I literally own the camo liquid blush in literally every freaking shade that they have because it's an amazing blush. It's great. I love everything about these blushes. I love the shades. I love the formula. I love the doe foot applicator. I love the packaging. I can't get over how much I love these shades. And so I literally put one in this basket when I shopped my stash, and then I added another, and then another, and then another, because I couldn't stop using them. They're really amazing. I can't get over how much I freaking love these blushes, but I gotta use other blushes. So I'm gonna put them away and try to be good and try to try out other stuff. But if you ever really need just like one really good liquid blush, go for the e.l.f. It's awesome. It really is. Next I got some minis of the Rare Beauty liquid blushes, and I kind of stopped using these because I had the e.l.f. ones. They're nice. They're super duper pigmented. I would prefer the minis than the full size because even the minis last forever and you're not going to be able to finish it up before it dries out most likely. But I do think the e.l.f. has like more shades, and I like the packaging, and it's more affordable. So honestly, I think the e.l.f. is better than the Rare Beauty. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. These are pretty new to my collection. These are the Armani Luminous Silk Cheek Tints. And I like them, but they're much more natural than I was used to with the Rare Beauty. They're not less pigmented, but they're definitely more sheer. It's like a sheer wash of color on the cheeks, which is really, really pretty. And you can do like that kind of full face flush a lot easier with this because it's not as pigmented. But when I put on blush, I tend to like build this up, but I still really like them. So I picked up like the lightest kind of peachy shades. I might pick up some other shades just to see if it's the same across the line. But I really like just about everything from the Luminous Silk line from Armani. And again, I've been reaching for these too often. I kind of want to go ahead and pull in some other blushes like this one. So this one I actually got in PR a little while ago. This is the CoverGirl True Blend Skin Enhancer, and it's in the shade Radiant Peach. And I love peach. So this one is more of a stick, but it's such a pretty shade, and it blends out like super duper easily. I saw that they also came out with highlighters and bronzers in this formula, and I really want to try them. So I was going to wait to see if I could see them in store. I've not seen them in store yet. I might just go ahead and pick them up online. But if those formulas are anything like the blush, I think I'll really like them. So I'm going to keep this one in here along with the Rare Beauty contour we talked about earlier. And then this blush palette. And then all of these I'm going to put back. So I've got my old favorite bronzer and contour. This is the NYX Wonder Stick, and I loved the contour. This is in the shade Fair. You can actually see if yeah, it's like halfway gone because I've been using it too much. It's just a really good color match on me, and it blends out really, really nicely. So I like that. And then for bronzer, I used to love, this is the Wet n Wild Dual Ended Contour Stick, but really it's a bronzer, at least on my complexion. So that one I used to love. Those then got dethroned by the e.l.f. Again, I love the e.l.f. products. So the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Bronzers and Contours, I think this is the lightest shade, is my ideal contour. And then I have picked up 2 shades that were more bronzery. And honestly, either of them could work, but I like this one the best. I wish I could read the shade names on here, but I can't. So I'll try to go back in and add them to the description box after this live is done. But my old favorites used to be these 2, and then they got dethroned by these 2. I should definitely do like a full face of e.l.f. soon, because I've gotten to a point now where a lot of like my holy grail favorites are all e.l.f. Oh my god, I think we did it. I think that's this whole drawer cleaned out. Yay! One more drawer to go. Yay. Another kind of mess. All right. So this one has eyeshadow palettes and powders. And again, I kind of kept getting more and more, and I just threw more and more in. So now it's a mess. Let's do the eyeshadows first, because I'm just taking all of these out. This is the Too Faced Aptly in Love palette, which is honestly very, very pretty. It's just not what I'm wanting to reach for right now. So I'm going to put this away. Next, we have the Huda Beauty Icy Nude palette. Ow. Here we go. It's really pretty. I found myself really wishing I could rearrange the shades like I can in the Natasha Denona palettes, but it's a really pretty color story. What are you? This is a Tarte palette. Oh, this is one of the holiday palettes that came in like a set of 3. So I barely used this one. Maybe I should leave this one in. I don't know. I've got a lot of palettes. This is the ColourPop Go In Coconuts palette. I use this one quite a bit, so I feel like this one I can move back into my collection. It's really pretty nudes. What are these? All right, I have a single highlight and a single eyeshadow. I'm gonna move that single shadow. Do I have room in here? Not really. Can I make room? I don't think this will fit. There might have been a reason why it was in. Yeah, it won't fit. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and put this back into my collection because I was not reaching for it. It was just taking up room in the drawer. God, my desk is a mess right now, guys. Okay. Natasha Denona Gold palette. Golden palette. Oh, it's really pretty. I've got a thing for Natasha Denona. You'll see when we get into my collection. I have a huge Natasha Denona palette collection. I need to rearrange this one, actually. So I might put it to the side just so I can remember to rearrange and film it when I do. It's really pretty. Okay, it's going to the side. It's going to go to the side. Next, on a whim, I picked this palette up. And I know done this bad thing where like I know I've owned this palette before and I've decluttered this palette and I just dropped it. Oh, we're good. Okay. Woo. So I've owned this palette. It was a dupe for one of the ABH palettes and I decluttered it because I didn't need both of them. But I was shopping Wet n Wild and I really wanted to get the Walking on Eggshells because this was like their classic palette. Like a long time ago, it used to be like a trio and they've come out with it and they've re-come out with it. And honestly, I've used this a ton and it's amazing. It's a really, really good, like all-in-one eye palette. And it had a bundle on Amazon of this and of this. So I was like, you know what? Let me get it. Let me try it again. I've not used it yet. So I feel like I'm going to put it away for a little bit and then I'll come back to it. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Powder time. This I'm going to wash. I'm going to throw that into my hamper. Pressed powder. I have the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. What shade are you? Ethereal Light. So I've been using that. I've got the AOA Studio Perfect Press Finishing Powder. It's, oh, that's broken. It's almost done. I feel like I just need to repress it so I can finish this one up. And then I've got the Soft Touch from AOA Studio. Yeah, this is actually a powder foundation and it's a different shade than their L1. Like, see how different? It's kind of hard to tell in this lighting, but they're two different shades. I'm not a huge fan of shade differences like that, so I'm going to put this one back in my collection. And, you know, for pressed powders, I feel like I'm good with these two, the Hourglass and the AOA, so we'll keep those two. Loose powders. I've got a few, and I feel like I can put most of them back. I have a little mini Hourglass because I wanted to try the loose powder, but I didn't want to buy a full size. So I've got this. I've also got the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. It's my favorite affordable powder like ever. And they've got a great shade range and I love the packaging and everything. But I've been using it too much. So I want to pull it out. I want to get some use out of the Hourglass. So I want to put that one in. And then the other one that I've been using a ton is the Givenchy Prism Libre loose powder. This is the pastel shades. This is really pretty, especially on the under eyes. It just, like, it makes you look like you're wearing a filter in real life. It is gorgeous. I got one in PR, used it up. Bought another one, used it up. This is my third. It is so good. I really like it. But I'm going to put both of these away because I'm using them too much. And I want to try some new stuff because that's part of the fun for me, is to try new stuff and experiment. Oh my God. Okay, we did it. So everything's cleaned out. It is time for us to shop my stash. Now, I've not done this live yet, so I don't really have a whole plan. Oh my God, we've already been live for 42 minutes. We got to make this quick. So let me just take you guys. We're going to go quickly through the drawers and see how fast we can do this because I got to get going. So this is my primer drawer. I don't really shop for a primer because I sit right here and I can just grab my primer from right here. So this is what I have currently. This is the foundation drawer number 1. So I've got some white mixers up there. I've got some BBCC creams. What do I want to reach for? I feel like using this is technically a concealer, but I use it as a foundation. It's the Naked Quickie from Urban Decay. I'm going to pull that in. And then let's do one more. Thinking about the stick foundation, this is the Makeup Forever HD Stick Foundation. And then if we look at the next drawer, I got a few more foundations in here. But I feel like I'm good with those two. So let's look at concealers. I've already got the Armani concealer. I've got a color corrector. Let's see. What should I get? You know what? I'm going to grab the Instant Age Rewind Eraser to try with the color correctors, just to see if using the same brand with it would work well. And then I think we're good. Okay. So that's drawer number 3. Drawer number 4 are all powders and powder puffs. So I'm going to grab a powder puff. I don't need another pressed or loose powder. So we're good. Down here at the bottom, these are all my face palettes. They're all powder, so I really have not been reaching for them all too often. I should, but I don't think that day is today. So let's go ahead and move on. You want to see how messy my desk is? Look at this. Oh my God. Look at how messy. That was everything that was in my drawer. It's the downside to having like a really big makeup collection. These are just brushes. Let's see, do I have any? These are where my lipsticks are. So let me just put the lipsticks in here. There we go. I've got lip glosses. I get a lot of the Summer Fridays lip balms. I didn't really pull from here all that often. And then these are just makeup cleaning supplies. It's over here where we have the actual rest of the makeup. So, top drawer, this is bronzer and contour. So we already have a contour from Rare Beauty. And I don't have any other liquid bronzers. So should I get a powder bronzer? I got the Buttermelt. Well, I've got this Halo Glow, but that's more of a contour from e.l.f. And I've been using a lot of e.l.f. lately. You know what? I want to do the Milani Baked bronzer. It's a really nice looking and natural looking bronzer. If I can open it with one hand. Maybe. Maybe not. Haha. There we go. Really pretty. So I'm going to get that. This is my blush drawer. It's a mess. I really need to reorganize this. Or even, I probably need 2 blush drawers, actually. Okay. Let's see. These are all powder. I've really been going for more liquid blushes. Like, look, see, I still have all the other e.l.f. blushes in here. I literally own every shade. I got a couple of Rare Beauty ones over here. I got the e.l.f. Halo ones. I got a couple of the Fenty. Honestly, like, I want to just use the e.l.f. ones. I'm trying to, like, force myself to use something else. Should I go? I got these loose blushes from Givenchy that are really pretty. So let me pull those out. Yeah. I keep going back to these e.l.f. blushes. Who knows? Those e.l.f. blushes will probably sneak their way back into my drawer before long, but hey. Highlighter drawer. I don't really use a whole lot of highlight. I used to use highlight all the time when I was powdering. Now, here's that other Dior palette I was talking about where you have to scrape off that kind of overfilm. Should I bring this one in? I don't know. When I use highlight now, it's more often like an inner corner highlight for my eyeshadow than it is like a face highlight. I got this old ABH glow kit. Look at that. Look at this one. It's pretty. I feel like this is more of a show and tell than me actually picking a highlight. What's in here? Oh, this is a highlighter, I think. Yep, that's a highlighter. Okay. I don't think I need one. Yeah, okay. You don't have to pick one. So, oh yes, eyeliners. I said I was gonna pick a different eyeliner. Oh, I have another Tarte Fake Awake. I literally have 2 of them. You know, let's go for the jumbo eye pencils. Let's get Milk, the classic. This one is, what shade are you? Frosting. It's kind of like a skin tone. It's more like silvery though. That looks interesting. All right, I'll get those 3. Let's see. This is like a goldy kind of shade. It looks a little dark though. And then for mascara, I said I might pull a black mascara. You know what? I've got 2 of these. I might go ahead and replace my brow gel since I have them. And then for black mascara, you know, I gotta use up these minis. What is this? Grande Drama. Let's try that one. I haven't that mini. I haven't used it yet. All right, making progress, making moves. I Got a random, oh my god, did you hear my knees crack? All right, random packaging. These are single shadows. I really don't pull from here too often because I tend to just come in here with whenever I want a sparkly kind of single shadow. So this, and then back there, those are just empty palettes. Aisha said, use the e.l.f. blushes if you're enjoying them. Why not? Yeah, I feel guilty for not using the rest of my collection, you know, when you have a collection this big. But, like, I really do love the e.l.f. blushes. They're so good. The last few drawers here, they are all eyeshadow palettes. So we're going to go through these pretty quickly just because I didn't realize we were already on for almost an hour. This is like my more luxury kind of drawer. I've got, these are all Natasha Denona palettes. I've got a Tom Ford, more Natasha Denona kind of minis. This is the Viseart palette. That's pretty. And then this was one of my biggest makeup regrets, this Pat McGrath palette. I'm not a fan of the big Pat McGrath palettes. I think they're overpriced for what they are. So this was the Divine Rose 2. I expected a lot more out of a $128 palette. Yeah. So, do I want to use any of these? Nah, I feel like we'll go to the next drawer. Okay. Down here are my like drugstore or affordable eyeshadow palettes. So I've got some BH Cosmetics back here, some Wet n Wild. I got Milani, ColourPop, e.l.f. I have some Alter Ego. Really like the Alter Ego palettes. Let's see. Let's take a look at the Alter Ego palettes. These are hard to open with one hand. That's cute. God, these are so hard to open one-handed. Apologies. I know this is supposed to be a dupe for that Huda Beauty palette, but I hate that shade. That's just a gross shade. This palette is very, very pretty. I feel like I'm going to bring this one out. This is the Mirage palette. Yeah, I'll bring this one. Chrissy said, use the e.l.f. blushes until you're sick of them. Then when you need to change, switch it up, guilt-free, and the rest of your blush collection will feel like a treat to shop your stash again by then. That is such a good point. I feel like I should. My blush drawer might just be, or my everyday makeup basket might just be all blushes from e.l.f. Hello. This is another really pretty palette. This is the Sakura palette, which cherry blossom season is right around the corner. This palette, this one is Midsummer. All right. I got these 10-pan e.l.f. palettes. Those are really pretty. Heavy Petal. I haven't used this one yet. I got this in the mystery box from e.l.f. Yeah, let's go ahead and pull this one out. This looks pretty. Nice and springy. All right, let's take a look. This second to bottom drawer is all more like indie-ish kind of palettes. So I've got some old Midas Cosmetics palettes. I have, well, Lime Crime isn't really indie anymore. Lunatic Cosmetic Labs. I don't think I'm going to get anything from here. These are all more colorful palettes, which I do love, but not for like everyday work kind of use. And then down here, we have all my mid-range kind of palettes. And the palette that I was really wanting to reach for, this one, the original Lorac Pro. Look how pretty that is. I've really been dying to use that. So this one, and then I'm debating whether I should just bring all of them out because I really like these palettes. That is gorgeous. And then look at the cool toned one. Yep. Yep. Okay. So that gives us quite a few palettes to play with for now. So let me grab these and all the other stuff that we picked out, just kind of thrown up here. And we will organize this bad boy. All right, can you guys see? There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this to the side because I'm just gonna use this for a video. I'm not actually gonna use it in my everyday makeup basket. Up here in foundations, we're gonna add the Naked Quickie, the stick foundation, and the Instant Age Rewind concealer. I'm gonna pull out the old brow gel, put in the new brow gel. We're gonna add our NYX Jumbo Eye pencils along with our mascara. And I think that's it for that drawer. Now, for this drawer, we got the Milani Baked Bronzer. And you know what? I think you guys are right. I am gonna go with my heart, and we're gonna add in literally every single e.l.f. blush. Every single e.l.f. blush. Boom. It looks kind of ridiculous when you look at them all together, but hey, I love these blushes. I should organize them by color, shouldn't I? Okay, that's not perfect, but they are cute. How pretty is that? It's excessive, yes. But my makeup collection is excessive. What can I say? Loose blushes from Givenchy in the back. And I think that's it for this drawer. As if that wasn't enough. Bottom drawer. You know what? I do want to keep the big Natasha Denona Green Brown palette in because I really want to get use out of those top 2 rows. So let's do that. You go on the bottom. We'll throw in the Lorax. Then I've got my new little thingy. And the good thing is that the powder is small, so that could fit over there. Then I've got the Mirage and the Heavy Petal. Boom. And that is it. We did it, guys. Except for just ignore the mess behind me. I will put all that away when we are done. But the everyday makeup basket is done. Yay! So this is what everything looks like now. Yay! So thank you guys for joining me on my first shorts or vertical live. Let me know what you guys thought of doing this Shop My Stash kind of thing live. I did not think it would take an hour, but it did take an hour. So thank you guys for sticking around that whole time. Let me know in the comments afterwards what you thought and if you want to see me do a live Shop My Stash like this again. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.